What's going on, y'all? Just got recently got done with the primary voting, and now we're starting to see a lot of the craziness starting across the country, in a lot of states that consider as red states, a lot of states that consider as up to grab. Republicans in those states, with support from Republicans in D.C., are doing what they call a rezoning. And rezoning is making it so people gotta vote in certain areas. And for some reason, they rezoned it to a point that black people gotta vote in areas that's real far away from their residence, or some areas where you think is right there in your area. Mysteriously, the voting stations are either down or having issues. Sound familiar? Different states around the country have been sued multiple times from this rezoning stuff, or mysteriously voting stations having issues. Voter suppression is real, and crazy. It only happened in areas that predominantly black people live. And people say, why is that? Why is that? And there's something you can actually Google. If you Google state to state or countrywide, the number of registered voters that are Republican and number of registered voters that are Democrats. Democrats outnumber Republicans damn near 10-1. That's why damn near every election, presidential election, that if a Republican has won, they lost the popular vote. That's why they call it, the college electoral, whatever you want to call it need to stop, because there's no way in the world a politician can get the most votes and still lose the election. The last 6 or 7, I could be wrong. You can correct me on that. Last 6 or 7 Republicans that have won the White House all had lost the popular vote. The electoral college thing is set there to help Republicans win. And it came up when Republicans had the majority of the House, Senate, and the White House. But the trick is, a lot of Democrat voters get fed misinformed information. A lot of them don't vote, but a lot of them complain about stuff not being done. Mistake. They complain about not being able to vote, and they complain about why is the election, the voting booths or stations in their areas always down. Voter suppression, people. And I keep hearing young black people and some older, why should I vote? My vote don't count. My vote don't count. If your vote don't count, why are Republicans trying so hard to keep you from voting? The system is set up to see people of color fail. I don't care how you look at it. I don't care if it offends you. It's the facts. The system is set up to see people of color fail. But the crazy part of this, if a person of color has had the track record of Donald Trump and a lot of these other popular Republicans, they would have been buried under the jail. Now, I was just got some feedback earlier from some stuff I was looking up. The top 10 most poorly educated states in America, and you can Google this up, are red states. The education is bad. Test results, scores are down. Top 10 is Republican states. And guess what state is number 1? Number 1, aka not too smart state, Kentucky. Mitch McConnell state, aka the food stamp capital. Yes. And then another one, The top 10 state with the highest crime that have something to do with gun shootings, gun deaths, mass shootings, whatever you want to call it. The top 10 states with gun violence and so forth. 9 out of those 10 states are red states. In closing, the most states with the most open carries, the most lenient gun laws, on top of it, the most gun crimes are red states. But yet, every time you hear a Republican talk about gun violence or crime, they want to say how bad it is in a Democratic state. But when the facts are right there, every time there's a bill that comes up that Republican states benefit from, if you do your research, you'll see Republicans have voted against it because it was a bill that Democrats had pushed out there. Republicans voted against it, but it still got passed because Democrats had the majority. But then Republicans go back to their home state and say, look at this great bill that we gave y'all. But if you do your research, they voted against it. And they wonder why I say Republicans, it's a joke, but it's turned out to be a fact. Poorly educated people in this country are Republicans. There was a thing that came out years ago, is why middle class and poor Republicans continue to vote against their own, why they vote against anything that benefits them. Basically, I'm trying to say, I can't get the word right. They continue to vote for Republican, but they don't benefit from Republican being in the White House. Because everything Republicans push is to support the top 1%. Rich people, millionaires, billionaires. Over the last, I'm going to say 5 or 6 years, how many times have you heard this rich billionaire didn't have to pay taxes because of the new laws? And got big tax breaks. The main one, most recently, was a big tax break that Donald Trump has given to the top 1%. Why are they paying lower tax rates than people like me and you? Why are millionaires and billionaires are paying in a lower tax bracket than me and you, but they're making the most money? Why is millionaires and billionaires have a loophole that say they don't have to pay federal taxes? Because Republican politicians push it for them, because they're giving them the big endorsement money. They're giving them money for their campaign. And why do you think the NRA rate all Republicans high as far as their rating and give them millions of dollars for the election? Because they will continue to pass any bill that make guns lenient. Don't listen to me. Do your research. Stop being part of the poorly educated. Do your research. That's all I'm saying. Help me help you understand what your dumbass should already know. Sorry if I call you dumbass, but I'm sorry, dumbass.